All right. Good morning, cyber traders. Happy Friday, everybody. Good to see you all. Everyone hopefully is having a good morning. Really excited about this week. Weather's breaking. Summer almost here. But let me tell you, yesterday, a couple of good stocks moving pretty well. We're going to talk a little about it. Not only do we do our day trading here, we also do our swing trading. A couple of good swing trades I know some of you guys put on. And let me tell you, it's not about the winners, about those losers. Because let me tell you, there were some stocks that we looked at. Thank God we got out of them because they sure don't look too good. Starting off with Foot Locker. Obviously, it looks more like an earnings play what happened with Foot Locker, but this thing took a very, very big hit. It's coming up to some big support levels around $30. We'll take a look at it. There are some couple of pre-market stocks that are moving too, and we're going to check them out. Now, once we always listen, as a trader, we have to know what days are better to trade than others. So I want to remind everyone, today is Friday, okay? I actually have to leave, after we do our trading in the morning. I got to go drive down to Delaware. I got to pick up my son, help him move him out of his apartment. Then the following week, I was just in the city the other day. NYU graduated. It was kids are graduating. Not too much actions going on, especially over this weekend and next weekend. A lot of graduations going on, so it's going to be kind of a little quiet. But there are a couple of stocks that are moving from it. Not moving from that, but just, you'll get your periodic stocks that move and we'll check them out. But just be very careful of today. Yesterday was like one of those days, just to remind everyone, it was like a nickels and dimes day. We were trying to hit some of these big winners, and then we caught a couple of them, and then some of we did, some of we didn't. And that pretty much, but then there was a couple of them that did make some moves. So let's start off with a couple of them really quick. I want to start off with, I got my watch list here from yesterday. So you could see some of these stocks didn't pick up until the middle of the day. PHIO had a really nice pop, went from $4 all the way to about close to $7 in less than an hour, but that was more of a middle of the day play. Boyle is doing phenomenal. Okay. Now, Boyle was one of the swing trades I told you. I averaged up on Boyle. Just tell you a little bit about Boyle. So we see the stock was all the way here at $130 price range. You probably heard, if you've been following the news, they're trying to ban gas. They're trying to take away gas stoves. Gas been a lot in the news. Here in New York, they passed a law that, any new buildings over 7 stories, everything has to be electric. So they kind of get rid of gas. Gas has been taking a really big hit. Now, just like how AI has been doing really well with all the news with AI. But I don't know. I just watching it for the past 3 months. It's been holding here pretty strong. So I'm just going to zoom in over here a little bit more. Now, I don't know who here got a little bit of the Boyle, but Boyle was holding here pretty cheap around like $2.60. So I took a little bit of a gamble. I did a swing trade on it. And the reason why, because we had a good day trade on this day right here. Stock ran from 279 to about 315. It started going up. It held it pretty strong. I averaged up on that trade, but I'm doing more of a swing trade. But it was a great day trade yesterday. So listen, don't start thinking like, is Boyle going back to, the $100 price range? Listen, if it goes up to 5 or 7, listen, that's still a nice profit, cheap little stock. But she's moving again this morning. Yesterday she had this big pop right here. You could see it here. I know they've been talking a little bit on Wall Street Bets. So, when those guys start getting involved, chaos starts happening. But she's doing pretty strong, pretty happy with it. And but that was one of them. A couple other stocks too. LAB, LabD. LabD was also a stock that we traded to. We've done very well with it. Had a nice push. It wasn't good in the morning, but once again, one of those stocks around 12 o'clock had a nice push, made all the way up to about that 13, all the way up to that $14 price range. Uber did pretty well. Uber came out with some really good earnings. And with those good earnings, it's been trickling on. Remember, this is a big earnings week these past 2 weeks. And we talked about how earnings really dictate the price of the stock. And, it's been doing really, really well, Uber. Finally, after all these years, this thing hasn't gone anywhere. I actually sold it. I did a swing trade on it. Good thing I got out of it. Maybe I should have jumped in when earnings came out and showed that really good. And remember, it's not the earnings that they said that they beat. It's the earnings they project. That's the big thing about it. So it looks like they're doing a pretty good move. APLD did awesome. This has been a great day trade and a swing trade. Another big pop on Applied Digital. This thing ran from $6.50 to $8. The stock was trading a couple of days around $3. AI finally came down a little bit, a little hectic. Listen, regarding about AI, I told you this before. It's a very hard stock to trade. It gets very volatile. It gets very tricky. You want to be careful. Now, PLTR I thought was probably the better stocks of them all. Now, I'm throwing PLTR back on this list. PLTR, and that's not even, we can go through the watch and boil. Going on our watch list. But PLTR, I mean, you could see it right here. Had a really nice move. Right after around 9:30, had a big move. I didn't notice it until the trading room, until we got around 10 o'clock. I'm like, hey, you know what? Everyone, did you guys see PLTR? It's moving. And then all of a sudden, it had a nice little move. You could see it ran from like that 1070 all the way up to about 1150, which is not bad. Not bad. Not an expensive stock. Nice little move. Pretty good stock. And a couple other one last one stock I want to bring up. The UPST had a nice move too, around 21 to about 24. A little bit more on the expensive side, not really our forte, but overall, pretty good list. It was a nickels and dimes in the morning. We got a little bit of a slow start within the first 30 minutes, but then things started picking up around 10 o'clock. So anyway, let's turn the page. That was yesterday. That's Traders Thursday. Now let's talk about Friday weekend. Now, Friday weekend, just to reiterate, for some of you, I did see some people logging in late. We got to be careful on Fridays. People don't like to come out with news over the weekend. It looks like a nice weekend. A lot of kids getting graduated. So, you're starting to see a lot of those earnings announcements starting to slow down a little bit. Now, there were a couple of stocks here on the watch list I want to bring up. First of all, the biggest percentage gainers, you got to be careful, are these IPOs. Now, this stock obviously gapped up pretty big. It was at $10. You could see it's up to $3. No real data there. Just be careful of that. We're not big fans of trading IPOs. Very, very difficult stock to trade. I know that some of us were looking at this stock in the Cyber Group room early this morning. SDA, once again, good volatility, good cheap, but the tier size are very shallow. You got to be really careful. I'm looking on level 4, and I'll show you. It just looks like a mess. It really does. You got a couple of iceberg orders showing up, and then they're starting to show up in the offer. The thing's all over the place. So it's not really what we want to trade that's going to give us the least amount of risk with the high amount of reward. Another stock that showed up on the watch list that had a good move and was doing it more in the after hours is this LSDI. Getting back to this one, it had a building effect on the offer, and someone kept pushing it down. And you could see it's been going down from $1.70 down to $1.40. It is up 33%. It's inexpensive. You know what? I'm a little desperate right now because you're talking about the third biggest percentage gainer on the NASDAQ, and that's all we have. It's not the greatest. ATNF, another inexpensive stock, good volume. Not completely sold on that one. GTech. It's trading in a range right here. It's got this seller that kept showing up around $1.68. He pushed it down a little bit. There was a big order at $1.52. You could see it right here on the intraday chart right there. You see that support level right there? That support level is built from this guy right here. And you can see he got filled. You can see at the bottom, he did get executed. So I don't know if that looks like a good sign. Once again, nothing sexy. Nothing really is jumping out at me. And it's Friday. You come here every week, you probably hear me say the same thing. It's Friday. Nothing really much going on out there. VIRX volume is low, 24,000 says. Wistia, cheap little stock, good volume, took a big hit. Maybe. I like the volume on it, but I'm also very desperate right now. Sometimes these things do pop and make a pop in the morning. And that pretty much does it. This one, it's got good volume. It was good yesterday. This is the stock. It went from like $1 to $5. Let me go check on level 4 because I didn't have it on here. GSIT. Let me go see what happens. You get some data on this thing right here. We got a little. I don't know. You tell me. I don't really see that much out there. There was a big iceberg order here for about 4,000. It is moving up a little bit. It looks like it's going to be probably, just from the look of it, probably a category 3. Now on the losers list, you had Foot Locker. Now Foot Locker does have a little bit of, we rarely ever trade Foot Locker, okay? But today might be the day. It's got some buyer right here at $30.50. You can see it right here. It's kind of holding there at 31. This is the guy I'm talking about right here. You see him right here, 15,000. That's not a lot. There's a pretty bigger buyer here at 30 for 12,000. So you could see that you got those two big iceberg orders hovering right around there. Kind of explains why it's kind of holding here. So that could be probably be a good support level right there on FL, on Foot Locker. All right. Peter saying FTCH has got some good volatility. Let me go check that out. Good volume. FTCH. Let me go check it out. It does got some good volume. Did I have it up here? Yeah, I did have it. Like I said, it's got good volume. It's got a good iceberg order out there at 25. I mean, not terrible. It had that good pop in the morning, but she's starting to trend down. That's the only reason why I wasn't completely crazy about that, Peter. All right, but we'll throw it on a list. FTCH. Listen, I'm not completely super excited about this list, like on the ones that we had on Tuesday, where it was killer, and Wednesday, a little bit more on Thursday. I think Monday's better, but we always know something will pop up. So listen, we'll post these lists. We'll post up the watch list on our Twitter. We'll post it in the alert service if you're a Cyber Group member. But listen, don't get crazy. I wouldn't get too nuts. All right. Anything else, Cyber Traders? Anything else? All right. So listen, if you're watching YouTube, Facebook Live, on the top left-hand corner, if you want to join one of our workshops, we did one yesterday. You can access the recording, how to trade today's volatile markets and how to prevent losing by shadowing orders. Just take your phone, turn your camera on. You could scan it, and we'll be happy to get you in that trading room. You could join us in our trading room all day by clicking on it. But we're live here every morning at 9 a.m. and at 2:30. Cyber Traders, you know the game plan. You see something, you say something. I know we have a lot of new trials that joined us yesterday from watching the event. Just one very important advice I want to give all of you that are new here. Please make sure you talk to education advisor. Let him tell you a little bit about what you're going to be seeing here, because you might think it's extremely overwhelming and extremely fast, but it's not, because we do the workshops that we gave you, and you understand what exactly to watch. That's how it's going to teach you how to be a better trader and see if this is for you or not. All right. But in the meantime, enjoy it. If I don't see you later on today, enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see you back here this afternoon or first thing on Monday morning. Happy trading, everyone. Be safe.